Friday afternoon / evening on the East Coast. A lot of things came up yesterday that kept us from being here, but we definitely wanted to make sure that we got in this week. So hopefully you guys grab a beer, grab some snacks, sit down in front of your phone, tablet, computer, TV, whatever it is you use to watch us on the YouTube. Get comfortable, and let's talk about the NFC North. AFC North today.
Wait a minute.
Repeat.
We'll fix that in post-production.
Yeah. So AFC, got the AFC side. Sorry, I started working on the NFC South notes today, so I've got NFC on the head, trying to stay ahead of the game for Monday. But yeah, AFC North. So Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, and Browns. Obviously, if you don't know that, we've got bigger issues. So, but anyway, we're gonna break these things down, previews, what happened in the offseason, the drafts, the impacts that all of this is going to have, and of course, what you're all waiting for, the overall standings at the end, the most exciting part of the show. So, we're gonna break it all down for you and have a little bit of fun as we go. So, with that, let's roll.
Welcome to the Bean Apple Podcast.
Belichick. I mean, I text him all the time. He just doesn't answer.
Somehow got mono. God knows who he was making out with.
Somebody had given me 2 tickets to a Jet game, and I had to run into a store. Came out, they broke my window, and they left 4 more tickets.
All right. So, as we have been doing, and I think it's been working pretty good, is going team by team. We'll go around, and then we'll give our predictions as we go. And keep flowing that way, and I'll segment it out after we're done. So, do you guys have a team you want to start with? Is there anything that intrigued you the most that you want to talk about, or
let's start with Pittsburgh. I'm curious to see what you guys are going to talk about the Steelers with.
Good. That's exactly who I was going to pick if you left it to
Perfect.
me. So
Perfect.
That works out very, very nicely. All right, so we'll definitely start with the Steelers then. All right, so big things, right? So last year they ended 12-4, which I think was a little fluky personally, but big additions, Melvin Ingram and Trey Turner. They kind of robbed the Chargers there of their players. They drafted Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth, and a guy later on, I think it was the 6th round, but of course I don't pay that much attention that late, but Isaiah Loudermilk.
What a great name.
Might be one of the most fun names now in football. Isaiah with 2 H's. Loudermilk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be a fun one. Yeah, so they drafted those guys. Obviously, Najee Harris, if you've watched this, I think he's going to be absolutely sensational in the league. But what is the big question is their losses. Bud Dupree, Alejandro Villanueva, Maurice Pouncey, David DeCastro, James Conner. Pouncey and DeCastro are both unsigned, but it doesn't look like they're coming back to this team. So that offensive line decimated. I mean, what was the Pittsburgh strength now is very questionable. So Najee Harris, we'll see what he's got, but there's a lot with this team that is unknown for me. So the big thing, like the Browns, yeah, in the playoff game, they put up 48 points against this team that went 12-4. That is questionable. So when we're breaking it down a little bit more, they went 7-2 in games that were decided by 7 points or less, and 3 games that were over 10 points. So it's like, is that repeatable? Like a 7-2 in 1 touchdown games? I don't know if that's repeatable. And 2 of those 3 games that were over 10 points were against Cincinnati and the Jaguars without Joe Burrow and with a really bad team. So it's really questionable about how good they really were. And I feel like that 12 wins is not a good snapshot of what this team really was. A lot of those games could have went the other way. So in the AFC, out of the first place teams, they were the lowest scoring point total team in the AFC out of those. Shows you another thing. The O-line's been destroyed. Big Ben's old, right? So that equals bad things, like a bad O-line and an old Big Ben. And I know he said he's come back in great shape, but they say that every single year. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm in the best shape of my life. Like you're never at any point in your life better than you were last year. I don't care unless you're like coming off of surgery, but like I've never been like, oh, yeah, I'm 28. I feel better than I was at 24. Like, no, I'll never feel better than,
Tom
than
Brady.
the year before.
Tom Brady.
Does he feel better though? I mean, he's
He
still
does. I think
efficient,
he does. I think he does.
All right. Well, I don't, but still debatable if he's even human, right? I mean, I
True.
think that's
he
still.
could be a cyborg.
I think
Could
he
be a
might
cyborg.
actually be. So yeah, Ben's production also dropped a lot. So before the injury, he had the year before 5,129 yards, 34 touchdowns to 16 interceptions. He averaged 7.59 yards per attempt. But in 2020, 2,800 yards compared to 5,100, 33 and 10. So his touchdown production was still there. But the thing is, he would have hit, if he would have kept it up, he would have hit 4,200 yards and 37 touchdowns. So touchdowns would have went a little higher, but the yardage is still down. So you look at another year gone by, a little bit older, the offensive line is much worse, and he still would have been 900 yards below what he was the year before he got hurt. So is he going to trend back to that two full seasons after that injury? I don't see how he can do that at his age. To be able to rebound that far, that's going to be hard to do. So if he didn't show it the year he came back, I don't think it's going to be there, but we'll see. That's a whole bunch of information, a whole bunch of numbers, but I'll hold off on my my standings. I want to hear what you guys have to say, because this team is very polarizing to me.
So I'll start off with Big Ben, and when I looked at this, I was a little surprised. So last year was the second most touchdowns he's ever thrown in his career.
Yeah.
And the least amount of interceptions since 2015. And he played 15 games. So chalk another couple more up. I get it. His yardage was down. But his numbers, it's kind of crazy. Like, he's still producing like that. So let me, real quick, what I like about the Steelers is their defense. I know they gave up a grip of points against Cleveland, but Pittsburgh did not end well last year. They still got T.J. Watt. Tua had 11 sacks, I believe, too. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick, Joe Hayden. I mean, they Devin Bush. They got a great D. I love Najee Harris. I'm a Bama guy, so I'm a big Bama guy. I also predicted Chase Claypool to be a breakout fantasy wide receiver, and I still believe that. Eric Ebron, I don't know. We'll see. Had a pretty decent year last year, but Pittsburgh is not a team that really utilizes their tight ends anyways. They use them for first down, stuff like that. So to me the biggest glare mark is, how is that offensive line going to hold up against Baltimore in Cleveland's defense? Two ferocious Ds that just come after you. Big Ben's been in the league 17 years. He's never been mobile. He's definitely not going to be mobile again. I love Najee Harris too. We'll see how he does with that O-line. I mean, watched the game the other night and then last night. I mean, God, the guy's just a beast out there. But how much protection is he going to get? I'm very twisted. This again, I know we talked before. AFC North is tough, boy. It's tough because this could go either way, and none of it would surprise me. But I think the biggest question mark is their O-line. Their O-line and Ben's health, to be quite honest. Because behind him, if they go to Rudolph or even Haskins, who's looked really good, they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think back to the end of the last year and Ben crying on the bench, really wanting to win it and advance and, maybe retire, right? Maybe that would have been his swan song and that would have been it. And the fact that he does come back, right? Because there were times last year he was like Alex Smith back there. He just couldn't move. He couldn't do anything. You just bring the house at him and he was done. And still 12-4, right? What were they? 11-0, 12-0.
I think they were 11-0 at one point.
11-0 to start the season, and every week I think they're not going to win. And here they another win, 7, 8, 9, 11. what the hell is this? So, I mean, they find ways to win, and I'm a Tomlin fan. I like him as a coach. He's gritty and finds the way to do it. And I think they're gonna have to give him help so he can get rid of that ball because he's got Deontay and Juju and Chase, and he's got to get that ball to them. And he's going to need another second or two, and whether that's a tight end chipping or something, or Najee helping out. But I see them close to last year. Even with the losses they had, they picked up some guys, but I think they're still going to be right in it. I think this is a really tight division.
All right, so with that, let's go around the table and give our final standings. So for me, they went, like I said, they went from 12-4. I've got them finishing. Steelers fans, get ready to hate just like the Vikings fans do. 8-9 is where I see them finishing.
Wow, you're on another page than I am.
I told you we're going to be off 8-9.
So
Joseph, I have them identical to you, my friend.
No,
I
really?
also have them. I do. I have them 8-9. I just, again, super strong division. How they finished last year, they didn't get a whole lot better from last year. They truly didn't. So I'm looking at their last 6 games, including the playoff game. And you're right. I mean, they got destroyed by Cleveland. That wasn't even fun to watch. But, I mean, we found out later Big Ben was hurt all year. But, again, can he stay healthy all year? The guy – I'm going to give Big Ben credit where credit's due. The guy plays through anything. Yes. Anything. What do you have, cracked vertebrae in his back or some crazy shit last year?
Yep.
Tough guy, man, but I'm telling you, it doesn't equal wins. They didn't go 11-0. They started 11-0. And everyone kept waiting for that time. And, boy, when the bottom fell out, I mean, it fell out severely. Tomlin, one thing about Tomlin. So when I predicted this, Joe, we're actually predicting Tomlin's first losing year ever. He's never had a losing year. I think this is going to be it. I do. I think this is going to be it.
Wow. So I'll go against you because I don't think so. I don't think Tomlin knows how to have a losing year. I look at their home games 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I feel like they could win every home game. So if that's the 8 wins you gave them, then we agree. But I don't think they win every home game, but I think they have a shot at it. I think they win the majority of their home games, and I think they win a couple games on the road. I think they can go to Minnesota and win. I think they can go to Cincy and win. I think they can go to even the Chargers. Even the Chargers. I have them circled. Now, you could say I'm crazy, but I got them 1 game less than last year, 11-6. 11-6. And it's mainly because I bet against them and I lose every time. Every time. They find ways to win. I think there's no way they're going to win. You look at Pittsburgh won again. Great. Okay. Not a Steelers fan. But
But like I said, those games were so close. They could have went.
That's right.
They could have went either way.
And it could be the same. It could be the same thing this year. I mean, Seattle coming into Pittsburgh. Seattle playing in the outdoors, and I don't think Seattle's that great of a team this year either. But 11-6.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for a team to win all their home games, though, I mean, obviously it happened in 72 for the Dolphins, but I don't know if it's happened since then.
Yes.
I mean, you got Vegas. Vegas coming
in 2007.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, the Patriots too.
Who was that?
But to win all of your home games is not an easy thing to do, and they got some tough. They got some tough games. No. They still have all their division games, which you said is going to be tight. You've got Tennessee coming in. You've got Seattle coming in. Not the Raiders, but. Or Detroit, that's easy.
Vegas coming in, a dome team.
Chicago,
Detroit coming in. Right.
That's going to be November 8th. That's going to be the Justin Fields show on ESPN. So we'll see what he's got. It's going to be that's going to be a tough one. That's why I'm just not really comfortable. And then a lot of those, the Chargers, can they actually start winning these games? The Chiefs, the Browns. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of tough. This division, this division's hitting hard. So All right. Next up, Bengals. Bengals anyone?
Sure.
Shoot.
All right. So if Justin's watching, which I haven't seen him in a long time, and I'm a little bit, I'm hurt more than anything, I think. But anyway, so let's talk about this. Last year, 4-11-1. They had that riveting tie with the Eagles early in the season. So their additions, they didn't do a lot. The one I really liked was Trey Hendrickson from the Saints. They paid him a lot of money. I don't know if he's going to repeat. I think he had 12 sacks last year, something like that. A very nice number. So we'll see if he can
13 and a half.
13 and a half.
That's
That's close.
Yes, sir.
Additions also Riley Rife that came over, which is a pretty nice piece there. They went wide receiver in the draft, taking Jamar Chase obviously over protecting Joe Burrow, which we all disagreed with, but it's still Jamar Chase's. That offense it's going to have weapons. So they also grabbed Jackson Carman, the next pick. He was Clemson's guard that protected that Trevor Lawrence kid. Joseph Asai out of Texas, and Captain America himself out of Michigan, Chris Evans. So he's going to be back there in the running back game to take over for Joe Mixon when he inevitably gets hurt again. So we'll see how that one goes.
Yes.
Losses. They lost Carl Lawson to my Jets. See what I did there? Losses. Lawson. Anyway,
Very good.
all right. Tough room, but we'll loosen you guys up.
Very good.
So yeah, John, you were high on Lawson, so I'm very excited from what I've seen in camp. He is destroying the Jets' offensive line. Take that as
Not hard
but,
to do, Joseph. Not hard to do.
Yeah, well, he's manhandling Mekhi Becton, which
Again,
okay, that's different.
okay, that's hard to do. That's hard to do.
so yeah, they also added William Jackson, cornerback, lost William Jackson and AJ Green, which Jim, I don't think it's notable, but I know you're high on him, so I wanted to add it to that. So yeah, kind of like we talked about, what's Joe Burrow going to be like when he comes back? Jim, that's another one of your concerns. How's that knee going to be? Is he going to be anywhere close to what he was in the beginning of the year? And was adding Jamar Chase the right move? I don't think it was. I think they should have went with Penei Sewell. That would have been the smarter choice, but it is what it is. You're not going to go wrong with him. If they hit it right, though, with T. Higgins, with Tyler Boyd, with the running, with Mixon, and we'll see if Evans turns into anything. But, I mean, if Mixon's healthy, he's still a really nice running back. Jamar Chase in added into that is who do you cover? Who do you stop?
Can't cover everybody.
It's gonna be a fun offense to watch. Which, when's the last time you said that? Like Carson Palmer days in Cincy before Pittsburgh blew his knee up. What was that, like 2002? So 2000,
Yes.
Way back. The last time you could say Cincinnati Bengals and explosive offense. So, yeah, I was with TJ Hushimazada and Chad Johnson, not Ocho Cinco.
Yeah,
Not
it wasn't
Ocho
Ocho
yet.
yet.
He wasn't Ocho yet. He
Right.
wasn't
That's
Ocho
that's how long ago this was. So yeah, but their scoring differential is negative 113. So that's the other thing that caught my attention is they were getting blown out in games. In the beginning when Burrow was in, they were doing pretty good, competing, coming down to the wire. But I mean, a negative 113 point differential, and they didn't do anything on defense except for Trey Hendrickson. Jamar Chase and a guard. They didn't address the defense in the draft until the 4th round, I believe it was. So not really that promising. So it's really going to come down to, can Joe Burrow do what he did at the beginning of last year and keep that team in the games? And can Jamar Chase do what he did at LSU with Joe Burrow and just destroy defenses? Because that's what they're going to have to do. The offense is going to have to carry this team and will this team to win. So the last thing was they were 4 of their 6 losses with Joe Burrow was by 5 points or less. Without him, 4 of their 5 losses, they scored single digits.
Yeah.
It's
a big drop off.
Single digits.
Drop-off.
So you look at, with Joe Burrow, they lost 4 of the 6 games by 5 or less. Without him, for their 5 losses, they only managed to put up single-digit scores. That's just insane to think about. A rookie quarterback was that good, had that much of an impact on the offense. It's really, really lends credit to how good Joe Burrow could be and actually was to start his rookie year. So,
But
yeah,
don't protect him though.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. We like scoring 7 to 9 points a game without him. So,
Right.
all right.
So you knew that when you had the draft, right? You had all that information at your hands.
Yep.
And you went receiver. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The candy was better than the diet, I guess, right? Like, they went to the dessert aisle instead of the salad aisle. Like,
yes, they did.
Jamar Chase was too sweet to just leave alone for that boring salad. So, all right. So that's what I got on the Bengals.
So I get the Jamar Chase draft pick because look what they did in college. You have to take a chance, right? But I think we said all along they should go O-line. They didn't. Their O-line didn't get any better. Joe, you're talking about last year. Yep, they sure had it tough. But I'll tell you what. Last I looked, Joe Burrow doesn't play defense, and they gave up 30 points in over a third of their games, and in the high 20s, another 2 or 3. So you're looking at 8 games, 6 games with high 20s plus giving up. Yeah. So would that have changed with Burrow in there scoring? Yeah, maybe so. Who knows what Chase is going to do, but I'll tell you what, teamed up with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yep.
Joe Mixon, he missed 2 games his rookie year, 2 games his second year. Played a full season and averaged 68 yards a game. 68 yards a game. So even when he plays a full season, it's not like you're getting what you think you are. Now, I'm not going to lie. I went to the Pats and Cincy 2 years ago. And watching him in person, man, that guy's quick. So, maybe they can teach him to hit holes quicker. I don't know. But, the guy has potential. This offense is frightening besides the offensive line. Yeah. The defense, they went out and paid Hendrickson because of all those sacks. Boy, but I'll tell you what. But I think that was the New Orleans defensive scheme and the players that they had. Nobody else on this defense. Who else you going to get your sacks from? You know what I mean? So what do you do? Double team him and then hope what? Maybe like a DJ Reader gets through or somebody like that, or Sam Hubbard on the line who had no sacks last year. So I'm not seeing it. Tons of potential. So if Justin does watch this or does see this, Cincinnati is still – boy, I'll tell you what, Cincinnati, if they can free up some cap money and do whatever, but – they need some defensive help because they're going to get demolished. And another team like we talked about with Pittsburgh, Joe Burrow's playing in a division with Baltimore and Cleveland, boy, where they can pass. And Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a great D. So I'm sorry, they're I won't say they're the odd man out. I'm not going to say where they are for me, but boy, they're going to have to deal with 3 ferocious defenses who thrive on division games. Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Name 3 other teams that then maybe besides like the NFCs who hate losing to their division rivals, regardless of how good or bad they are. You know That's what right. I mean? It's just pride in that division. So, again, I think we'll be talking Cincy in a couple years where they may be, pushing teams around because of their offense and hopefully they can find some linemen. But their D and offensive line, man, huge question marks. Huge. And how healthy is Burrow? He's not looking great in camp so far. So, again, he came off a serious injury. Man, that poor guy, they should have got him some O-line help. They should have just poor guy. I feel bad for him. I do.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. If you think about the fan base in that division, and I'm trying to think as you're saying it, are there other divisions that hate each other as much? The divisional Pittsburgh games and Giants, Eagles, and we have that up here in New England. in the Northeast. I don't know if California has the same thing. I don't know if the Southwest has that kind of stuff. It seems like, okay, we lost. All right, whatever. Let's go out to get some dinner. Where here, it's cutthroat, right? I mean, it's you live and die for that. And to me, right. Burrow started out sloppy here, and maybe he's playing possum, right? Maybe he's trying to catch Minnesota sleeping in week 1. And to me, I think that's going to be a key for him, right? One is staying healthy. They have to have him healthy, otherwise this is going to be early quick. But if he is healthy and he can get that first win at home with Minnesota coming in, and at least get that first win in front of the fans, team, come up with some schemes to get him some help on the line. And steal a win early, could be something. So I think they improved from last year. Are they winning the division? No. Are they going to the playoffs? No chance. But I do think they make improvements in their record.
Okay.
Well, let's see now.
Let's go.
All right. So for me, I've got them coming in at 6-11.
Well, that's improved. That's improved over last year. Okay,
it is.
So we're in the same boat.
I had a hard time finding any more than the number I picked, and it's kind of not even close to 6, to be quite honest.
Oh.
I get them winning 4 games again. They start out against Minnesota. That's going to be tough. At Chicago, another tough D. You got Pittsburgh, you get Jacksonville, maybe Detroit. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Joe, you're going to hate me for this, but the Jets. Maybe pull up an upset against like Cleveland or somebody. But I mean, I can't count, and I'm stretching it with 4 because I'm kind of maybe assuming that they may play Denver tough. But I mean, for a 4-win team last year, man, that schedule is brutal. They play the Niners, they play the Chargers. They play Baltimore, they play Kansas City. I mean, I'm far stretched to even say 4, and I'm just saying that because I think there's the potential to, for whatever reason, I always play Cleveland tough. Even last year, I think they lost by 6 points total. They both scored in the 30s, so, maybe that potential. But maybe Pittsburgh, if they can get a pass rush. But, I mean, they have a worse pass rush in the division. So I almost went with 3, but I said 4 only because of the division games. But I think I'm stretching it at 4, to be quite honest.
Wow. So, okay, I'll take the over. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of the last 6 games, I think they only win 1. I agree. The last half of the season is tough for them. Yeah. But no, I have them. I think I'm going to go with they're going to win Minnesota the first week. So the Minnesota fan that's out there, sorry.
Really?
I think Minnesota comes to Cincy outdoor and Cincinnati beats them and Burrow.
Can we bet on this game? Do you want to bet on this game?
Well, let's see what the line. What's the line?
No, straight up. I feel like this is easy money for me. I do.
Well, we'll see what the line is.
All
if the line comes out at 14.5, then
I still may bet you. I still may bet you.
I'm not betting straight up.
I may give you 16. I don't know, but
wait a minute, that's different. All right. But we'll talk after the show.
Deal.
But yeah, no. So I look at Minnesota. I think they could beat Jacksonville. I think they could beat Detroit. I think they could beat the Jets. I think they could split with Cleveland. I think they could split with Pittsburgh, and I think they could beat Denver. I got them 7-10.
Don't discount that.
Wow, really?
They got the Bears week 2. That's going to be against the Red Rifle.
I didn't even give them that game.
That's a winnable game. The defense.
Well, you know what I thought about? I thought about Chicago's defense. I thought about Chicago's defense.
Will be tough. Yeah,
that's the reason I didn't go that way.
But the offense is not going to be scary. So if Burrow comes out and that offense is lighting it up, hitting on all cylinders to start the year, who knows?
Nobody lights up Chicago, though. Nobody does.
Last year.
Even Green Bay doesn't light up Chicago. Green Bay doesn't.
Yeah, but remember that year Jacksonville had the best defense in football?
No.
It was here for 1 year and then it was gone.
2018, but Chicago hasn't changed any. Okay, but anyways, I love the way you guys pick because I can't wait till the end of the year and be like, you guys are absolute maniacs.
Hey, he's your brother-in-law. You got to live with him.
Right.
I get it.
He's
get it.
probably
What's
predicting
Justin's
10
pick?
wins.
That's all I want to hear. What is he
Oh,
think?
I'm sure he's thinking they're going 14-3 and going to win the Super Bowl. And
Come
Mixon
on.
is the guy. No, I'm not even kidding you.
Wow.
All right, let's keep rolling. So I got all right, give me Ravens or Browns. Ravens or Browns. Which way we going?
Ravens.
Ravens?
Okay, yeah, let's go Ravens.
Ravens it is. All right. So another tough one. So this is where it starts getting real juicy for me. So the Ravens last year, right, 11-5 team. They added Juwan James. They added Kevin Zettler from from your New York Giants.
Yes.
Justin Houston, Sammy Watkins, and they stole Villanueva from the Steelers. So if you counted along there, a lot of offensive line help, but they also lost huge pieces, right? So they lost Matt Judon to you, new captain, defensive captain up there, and
Stretched out his knee last night, but he's okay. Thank goodness.
They lost Yannick Ngakoue.
Nice. Look at that. We can say Ngakwe's name now.
2 for 2.
Joe, I'm so proud of you. I just want I want to say that on there. You're like a little grasshopper. You're a little grasshopper that's just growing.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you throughout the last 2 years, you just watched my growth and development. We've done it together, and I appreciate it.
We have.
All right, so they've also lost Mark Ingram. I don't know what that means because I've never been a huge Mark Ingram fan, but he always just seems to be impactful when he's given the opportunity. It's just weird. And then last, the Orlando Brown trade to Kansas City. That's a huge piece that they lost. So they replaced a lot of offensive line, but I don't know if they upgraded the offensive line. For the draft, Rashad Bateman, who I really, really like, but he is also hurt with a quad injury, I believe. Looking to possibly miss a little bit of time into the season right now. I think they're talking about maybe the first 2 weeks he might be out, so that hurts. And then Jason Osai, who I don't know what his name actually is because every time I see him, his name is different. Like it's not like when we were prepping for the draft, it was Jason, but now it's something completely different. I don't even know what it is. So I'm not sure what happened in between now and then, but he changed his name. So, but his mama named him Jason. I'm calling him Jason.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you. Movie quotes. You guys are finally starting to come around. I like it.
And then the other one that I thought somebody would be on for, but no such luck. Tylan Wallace, wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. So I didn't know too much about him, but just through the cards that I've been getting, I've actually gotten like 2 or 3 Tylan Wallace autograph cards. And from what I hear, he's got some potential. So I had to list him in there because I'm hoping, and since we have a huge Oklahoma State fan that usually comes on the show, I thought maybe he'd appreciate that, but we'll see. Anyway, all right, so with that, so huge turnover for this team, right? On the offense and defensive lines, backfields, just a lot of big pieces moving. And like we talked about with offensive lines gelling in Kansas City, what does that mean for this team overall gelling together and continuing that toughness, that strong Baltimore defense, the running games? And what does it do for Lamar Jackson, who has been running and running and running, and now he's got an offensive line that's got to come all together again, and that was our fear, like I said, in Kansas City. What does it mean for him? It might not be the best thing, especially with what he showed in accuracy last year. If he can't pass and he can't run because there's an offensive line that's not protecting him, what does that mean for this team? It could be really, really bad. So the other really interesting stat as I was breaking it down. So they won 11 games last year, like I said. All but 2 of the wins that they had, every single one but 2, were by 14 points or more last year. I didn't realize that until I went back and I started looking at the spreads of those scores. That's insane. 9 of their 11 wins.
That is crazy.
Were by more than 14 points. That's hard to believe that it, not to say it. I mean, their final record indicates that they were pretty good. But to be blowing teams out that way is just crazy. So, and the other thing I'm really excited about is, like we talked about with Mark Ingram leaving, and John, I know you and I were both very high on J.K. Dobbins last year. Probably you were a little higher on Patrick Queen, but on the other side, Dobbins, and he averaged 6 yards per carry, and they didn't give him a lot of running room for some reason. I don't know why. You draft the guy and you don't run him, but 6 yards a carry. That's like the Falcons in the Super Bowl before they decided to throw it.
I love when we talk about that. My favorite Super Bowl ever. Love it.
9 touchdowns with that too. So he didn't get a lot of carry, but when he got the ball, he was producing. And hopefully they actually exploit that with Mark Ingram gone this year. Could have a huge impact on fantasy, a huge fantasy running back with him taking over that lead role. Not a lot of people thinking very highly on him because he doesn't have the stats to really go off of. So the thing is he's got to get more carries than Lamar does. They just have to start designing an offense that doesn't revolve around Lamar Jackson running the ball and passing the ball and running the ball. In fact, like you've got a really talented running back behind you. Hand it off a little bit, let the man work, beat up that defensive line a little bit and give you some time to do something with the ball. But this team, it's still going to be a tough team. This whole division always seems to, minus the Bengals, always seems to put together a pretty good team. And even of late, the Browns have decided that they wanted to play football as well. So I still have them as a pretty good team, but I'm curious to see where you guys round them out at.
So their running game is insane. So between J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, which I thought it was very smart getting rid of Mark Ingram because I think he was kind of taking carries and they just kept feeding them the ball. But between them, they had 1,500 yards last year. Throwing Lamar's 1,000, that's 2,500 yards in 16 games. It's just insane.
Yes.
I mean, they run the ball like crazy. I think Marquise Brown, it's time for him to step up. They brought in Sammy Watkins, a nice little veteran. Mark Andrews, a great tight end. We'll see how Bateman is. He's a rookie. Pretty solid O-line. They are starting a little bit over. But solid team. They got Villanueva from Pittsburgh. I wonder if that pisses off the Steelers fans. You know what I mean?
It's got to.
Oh, it has
to. And he was there so long in Pittsburgh.
Oh, too. Yes. And you're going to love the guy. But I'll tell you what, he's a Raven now. I love their defense. I know they lost some people, but, Patrick Queen, you know how I'm high up on him. You got Calais Campbell. You got Marcus Peters anchor in that backfield. I'll tell you what, they have, I think, a solid team from top to bottom. A few holes here and there, pass rush. But, Justin Houston landed in their lap. You know what I mean? Just landed there. He had, 9 sacks? I know he's a little bit older as far as the league goes. Yep. Oh, my goodness. What a
nice rotational piece.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Keep those legs fresh. Keep them coming out. Phenomenal linebacker. He's been in the league, 10, 11 years now. Another SEC beast. So, the guy just performs everywhere he goes. You know what I mean? The year before that, he had 11 sacks. 2 years before that, he had 9. 14, he had 22 sacks. 22 sacks in Kansas City. Just insane. So, the guy knows how to pass rush. He's going to help mentor the younger guys and go from there. But solid Justin Tucker. I'm even talking about that kicker. Justin Tucker's a master at just kicking, making every single friggin' kick. Extra points, he was 98. Field goals, he was almost 90 last year. He's just, I don't know. That's what you want in a kicker. That's how solid I think this team is.
Right. You talk about him, right? And why all he's doing is his job. His job is to kick the ball through the uprights, and he does it. And he does it to a high, really high degree, and that's all he has to do. Kick that ball through there, and he's a hero. And it's unfortunate that everybody can't just do their job the same way over and over. But I just saw on here Bateman, I guess, had surgery today. They said they think he'll be ready in September here for the start of the season. And I know Watkins is vying for that, outside receiver position here with the Ravens. But you're right. Lamar led the team in rushing. and he cannot keep taking shots to the chest, shots to the knee, trying to get a half a yard more, get out of bounds, live for another play, and now he's had COVID twice, right? So, I mean, and I know he's talking about now he wants to learn about the vaccine. Might be a little late after he had it twice, but whatever. I mean, but what I'm wondering is, like what happened with the pitcher up in Boston. Like, I don't know. I guess he's past it now. I don't know what stage this is with him, but I don't know of anybody that's had it twice. Is this going to have any effect on his breathing, his running?
Right.
Is he not going to be able to be as fast? Who knows? But that's going to be a huge thing because to me, he cannot be the leading rusher on the Ravens again, right? You got running backs, hand the ball off, use them, save yourself for other plays, right? It doesn't have to be what do you call it? I can't think of the word I'm thinking of here. Let's call it play action. Can't be play action.
Gotcha.
Right? But I have them pretty close to where they were last year. Not much of a difference from last year's really at all. And I don't want to say this last piece, but let's see where your numbers are here. But I have them not going forward or backwards really. So go ahead.
I wonder what the other option could be.
So if you're not going this way or this way, are you?
All right. So, let's build that suspense.
So you're saying there's a chance.
All right. So
that's exactly right.
The Ravens again finished 11-5. So I don't know where Jim's got them, but I have them finishing at 10-7 this year.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit back.
So looking at their schedule, fairly easy, I think, for Baltimore. First 7 games minus Kansas City. Then you start looking, they go to Minnesota, they play Chicago. Actually, they play Minnesota at home. I think that'll be really tough. Again, I like how the second half of the season is filled with 2-2 with Cleveland and Pittsburgh. That's pretty cool. Then you throw in Green Bay. Then you throw in the Rams. That's going to be tough for them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say they win one more game than last year. I'm going to say they're going to go 12-5. I just see that running game. Like you said, Joe, I mean, J.K. Dobbins averaged 6. Gus Edwards averaged 5. I'm telling you that it's going to anchor that offense. They're going to have to those linebackers are going to have to play up, and I think Lamar Jackson can really start picking up. I love Lamar Jackson. When the Patriots didn't pick him that year, I was like, there he is. He's right. We're drafting Sony Michel. Now, granted, Sony Michel carried us to a Super Bowl that year. We beat the Rams 13-3. He truly did in the playoffs. But my goodness, what would it be like with Lamar and the Patriots right now? Jim, you're going to be saying this in a few years when Justin Fields starts lighting it up in Chicago and you're drafting whoever, Danny Dimes' replacement. You're going to feel the same way because I'm feeling it now. They should have – me and my son were watching. And the second they took Michelle, I'll never forget. I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't even draft the number 1 running back, Chubb. You took Michelle. Killed me.
Wow.
Killed me. But anyways, I'm saying 12-5. I think they win one more game because it's the 17th game, and we're going to go from there.
Okay.
Wow. So, I'm going to say, just like I said, Cincinnati wins week 1 against Minnesota. I'm going to say Baltimore goes to Las Vegas on opening night and loses in Las Vegas in front of the fans.
Interesting.
So I'm going to say the Ravens start out 0-2, right? Vegas and Kansas City beat them.
Okay.
And then they'll win the next 3, and then they'll start making some improvements. But I'm going to predict if Vegas plays like they did, I think, against the Saints in Vegas last year and lit them up with Waller and Carr throwing the ball all over the place like they were on roller skates. That's going to be my prediction here. But I have them staying right where they are, 11-6. So right in the middle of you two. I think they're at 11-6. And I think I don't know if I should say this before Cleveland, but I won't say it before Cleveland.
Save it for Cleveland.
I'll wait till after we talk about Cleveland. But I got one more piece of their schedule.
Yeah, I mean, when John, you brought up an awesome point with their schedule, and this is kind of what swayed me a lot, was when you look at weeks 10 through 14 at Miami, at Chicago, versus Cleveland, at Pittsburgh, at Cleveland. Like, that is a defensive beatdown. Like, that team, if they're not hurt and tired and just worn out going into the end of that season, great on the conditioning coach. Whoever it is should be, obviously the best in the league right there. Because those
tough.
defenses
It's
are
tough.
insane. They really are.
Take out Cincy, and from week 11 on, I can't, or actually week 10 on. Week 9, Minnesota's D, I think, is really good. I can't wait to watch that. I hate to say this, I can't wait to watch the Ravens how they play this, because that second half, boy,
insane.
After that bye week. But
right.
I think,
and then 17, they got the Rams.
Yeah.
So Cincy and
But to
Green
think
Bay
they're
are
gonna
easy
be-
breaks, but
Right, but to think they're going to be healthy after that beatdown, like I said, guys are going down left and right now. I don't care what sport it is. Nobody can stay healthy anymore. They don't make them the way they used to, right? Is that the line? Right? I mean, the guys aren't tough the way they used to be, where you just, put some mud on it and get back out on the field. It's not like that anymore. So, I think guys will go down. Right. Way to build everything.
Cars back in the day couldn't break them.
Right.
Nowadays, you sneeze and warning lights come on. You're like,
right.
And you can't fix it. All right.
Yeah.
So
we're close. So John, you're the highest, and I'm in the middle, and Joe's third, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll round it out with the Cleveland Brownies, formerly of Baltimore. So last year, 11-5 team. Additions. Somehow they still added more pieces. So they added Jadeveon Clowney, nice rotational piece at this point in his career. And they signed Josh Jackson, safety, which was kind of one of their only weaknesses on defense, to a nice $20 million deal from the Rams, which is good for him. But that defense is nice. And then on top of that, what did they do? Added Greg Newsome, the third in the draft, and added our boy, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Joe, what? Man, we need to have more shows. We need to have more shows on Friday night. What's going on, Joseph?
Or better known as JOK.
JOK.
To the regular sports fans out there. So, he slipped. We said he should have been a first rounder, but they did come out and say he had some heart issues that caused him to slip a little bit. Apparently he's okay. And now a huge piece into that defense that just got a whole lot better. And their losses, really only Sheldon Richardson is the only significant name that I saw on that roster for losses. So, when I'm looking at this team and I went through and I looked at their depth chart, and it's just loaded everywhere. It's loaded. I don't know if their wide receivers are going to fall apart again like they did last year. I don't know if Odell Beckham's going to ever get his head about him and, get rid of this me mentality and get back to like a normal human being status where he's actually a number one wide receiver on a team and is a leader on the team, which would be awesome to see. But I don't know where a weakness is. Up and down. They have two of the best running backs in the game. Both of them should be 1,000-yard rushers. Baker Mayfield, John, I know you hate him, but he's doing it. I mean, his touchdown to interception ratio was outstanding last year. Like, it's just when you look at his development, I guess, like it's progressing the way you want to see it. Like I don't know. I mean, you go back, you look at his numbers from 2019, his touchdown to interceptions was, he had 22 touchdowns, 21 interceptions in 2019. Let me say 22, 21 in 2019. I don't know if you carry. Yeah. A lot of
carry the one.
Yeah.
Divided by 7.
And then you go to last year, 2020, he went from that to 26-8 for his touchdown interception ratio. So massive improvement. So there's no reason to think that that's going to stop. His average completions percentage for the last 3 years is 62%. So if if he can improve that 5%, he will be in the top tier of quarterbacks. Right now, he's kind of wavering 62, and I went and I looked at the others: Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, not Drew Brees, but Russell Wilson, 63, 64, 65% completion percentages average for them. So, I mean, some of them, those Rodgers has been playing a little bit longer. He's got like a 70% completion rate, but his career average is right there. He's a couple percentage points off, which is shocking to me because I didn't think Baker was that accurate to be in that discussion, but he is. And then, like I was talking about with the running backs, Chubb and Hunt, they had over 1,900 yards rushing last year. That's
they're incredible,
insane.
Yeah.
You don't see that kind of a tandem. And Hunt, he had a little bit less yards because Chubb runs crazy, but you combine with his receiving, and he had 1,150 yards. He was a 1,000-yard player. I mean, you could draft either one of these guys in fantasy and be fine. I mean, Chubb had, I think, 12 touchdowns.
12, yeah.
And Hunt had 8 touchdowns combined, which is,
it's crazy. Yes.
That's a number one running back that you've got 2 of them, which is incredible. So, to me, it's kind of like last year. Like, this team hasn't changed that much. They added a couple nice pieces. They drafted a couple nice pieces, but it seemed like they were their own worst enemy last year. They got in their own way more than anybody else did. Like, that Ravens game, perfect example. Like, they couldn't close that game out. Lamar left that game. I don't know what he did.
Kansas City game. That was a Kansas City game.
Thought it was the Lamar game.
No, that should have been the Kansas City game.
Anyway.
I think. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me make sure.
You look, but regardless, you watch a lot of their games, and they did win a lot of games. They still went 11-5 last year, but it seemed like they had a lot more trouble than they should have for a team that was that good. So that's my big thing is can Odell Beckham be a team player? Can he be a leader? Can he get over this me, give me the ball? All of those things. Mm-hmm. Great running backs, great improving quarterback. The defense is unbelievable. So that's my thing. Can they overcome the pressure and the expectations that are there for that team? I don't know if they can do it.
So I'm still pulling this up. Hold on one second, because I could have sworn that was against Kansas City. Yeah, it was. So Browns versus Chiefs. So you brought up a great point. January 17th, 2021 is when it was. So you brought up a great point, Joe. So Mahomes went down, in the fourth quarter, I want to say, right? Early, I want to say, maybe late in the third, whenever it was. So instead of them running the ball, they put the ball in the hands of Baker Mayfield. And they couldn't do anything. I mean, nothing. They did less than nothing. They should have won that game.
Yeah,
they should have won that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not talking. I was talking regular season. The ball.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yes.
The
I thought you meant the playoff game. I'm sorry.
47-42 loss to Baltimore. That game,
yes, when he came back in the fourth quarter and threw that touchdown to win.
And it was just back and forth.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
But yes, also the Kansas City game, they couldn't close it out. They should have.
Baker Mayfield couldn't close it out. And I blame the coaching, because they should have ran the ball. I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. You got two runners that combined for 1,900 yards, and you put the ball in Mayfield's hands.
Yeah. I.e., see Matt Ryan for why you don't do that.
So here's what's holding Cleveland back. Yes, Mayfield's numbers look good, but if you start looking at quarterbacks now, what's the average passing yards of a quarterback now? 4,000? I mean, honestly.
38 to 42.
38. So to me, he's average. He's throwing average passing yards.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't look at 10 years ago and look at him now and say he's better than all these players. I don't think he is. I don't think he is by any means. So average, yep. 8 interceptions last year. I think I gave him credit. He also ran the ball 54 times last year. That's a lot for him. He averaged 3 yards a run. So he's getting some ground instead of throwing interceptions. I think that needs to cut down. How is OBJ going to be? Jarvis Landry, he's there. I'm sorry, but Rashad Higgins is your third. He's been around forever.
Yeah.
Hasn't really stepped up. You got Austin Hooper and Njoku, who every year it seems like Mayfield is just trying to kill David Njoku, throwing it high. He's getting blasted.
Yeah, they got like a blood feud or something. I don't know.
They do. I mean, it's terrible. And even the games he doesn't get killed in, he just about gets killed in. David Njoku should be making some serious money.
Yeah.
I can't argue with the pieces that they have, but let's look at the Super Bowls, guys. Quarterbacks win it. You have to have a great quarterback there. I'm sorry, and this isn't even because I hate Baker Mayfield to begin with. He cannot win a game. Until he does, I'm not going to give him credit because you're right. He blew a Baltimore game and he blew a Kansas City game, which Cleveland could have been in the friggin' Super Bowl last year. I mean, they would have went up against Buffalo. Who knows how that would have happened? But anyways, they would have been in the AFC Championship game. You can't beat. I mean, who the hell is Kansas City's backup? Do we even know? Is it like Chase Daniel or somebody like that? I don't even know.
It's probably Andy Reid because I
Colt
don't think he has
McCoy.
plans. I don't think he has plans past Patrick Mahomes.
That's what I mean. I mean, there's just no one there. In fact, I'm pulling it up because now I have to see it because I asked myself that. But, I mean, who did they get beat by last year? They got beat by Chad Henne. Chad Henne.
There you go.
Can't beat Chad
That's
Henne.
right.
Yeah. Hey, he looked
He threw a
good.
touchdown.
He looked
threw a
good.
touchdown
He
in that game.
He did. He threw a touchdown, and Baker Mayfield couldn't.
Yeah.
He could not beat Kansas City. So
Right.
I'm sorry. Until I see more out of Cleveland, I think they're still going to be good. I think they're going to be, I think they're going to be viable. But I'll save my picks, my wins for after we do this.
Yeah. So Chad Henne coming in shows you anybody could quarterback for the Chiefs, and you'll be successful.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't matter.
At
Doesn't matter.
least against the Cleveland Browns. At least
there you
against the Cleveland
There
Browns.
you go. No, but I mean, you guys cover everything. There's nothing really. All my notes here. I mean, I loved Hunt last year, and he was on my fantasy team. I mean, him and Chubb on offense. Garrett, Garrett was carrying that defense for a long time. He got COVID.
Yeah.
He struggled a little bit. We got Newsome now, Koromora, Clowney, Ward as corner. So I mean, I was back and forth with this. I want to go one way, and I think I may still. I have two different things written down here, and God, I could make the change, but I think just because I want to do it, I'm going to stick with my first pick, which will be the first time maybe this happens. So
I think you might be in the same boat as me, to where like everything inside me saying don't do it. Like
Maybe.
the logic in me saying it's the Browns.
What
It's the
are you
Browns.
even
Maybe.
considering?
My heart's like, no, this feels right, but my brain's like, no, let her go, let her go.
wow.
She's
All
no
right, so
good for you.
yeah.
Oh man.
So let's wrap it up. What are your
right.
numbers?
Browns finish the 2021 season
Undefeated.
12-5. 12-5. Which I think they could be better, but they could probably sneak another one in there. But I felt comfortable at 12-5, which also has them winning the division. If you guys didn't put that together,
I see that. So I look at their schedule. Some definite winners in there. You got Detroit. You got Houston. I think Arizona's going to be tough. Denver, their quarterback's still not there. They got Green Bay. They got Vegas. They got the Patriots. That should be interesting. Pittsburgh, of course. Not too bad. I've been kind of going against this too. I see 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say 10-7. I think they're going to take a step back a little bit from last year. I was tossing between 11 and 10. The more I look at this, they play some potential teams that could be scary. Like I said, Arizona, Baltimore twice, Vegas. They got Green Bay. It's not the easiest schedule in the world. I don't see it that way.
I feel like for you, the Las Vegas Raiders are this year's version of the Broncos.
Well, because you have no idea what you have with them.
Yeah.
You just don't know how Vegas is going to be. I mean, does anybody?
Kind of do. Expect them to make bad draft picks every year. Check. Expect them to be mediocre. Check.
That's why eventually they have to get better, right? They have to get
New
better.
stadium, fans in the stands. Something will happen this year.
Something
For the
will happen
Raiders.
with the Raiders. It may go way south, but I mean, I'm just saying it's they don't have the easiest schedule. Their division, we were just talking about this the whole time. It's very tough. They have 6 very tough games. So
Yeah. So I'm going to go with 3-way tie, 11-6.
Wow.
Ravens, Steelers, Cleveland, 11-6. And I'll say the last week of the season, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, the winner of that game wins the division.
wow, Jim, I'm impressed. That's a ballsy move right there.
Hey,
That's a ballsy move right there to pick
That's where
all
I'm
3
going.
to have the same wins. I like that.
all
I
three
respect that,
11-6.
Jim. I respect that a lot. I think you're a maniac, but I respect that.
Hey, I there's no, I looked at the schedule.
There's no wrong answer right now.
Right,
There's no
right.
wrong answer.
Right. I think it's a 3-way tie, and even the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, I've been going back and forth on who even wins that game, but I think the winner of that game wins the division. In the North.
Just keep in mind that Cleveland closes out against Cincy.
I got that.
That's a nice.
That's their 11th win.
That's nice.
Yeah, I got that. But yeah, I got a 3-way tie in the North, so we'll see. I'd love to see that happen.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
It would be interesting. So, all right. So let's run it. Let's
That's
run it
fine.
back. So for me, I got the Browns winning it, Ravens in second, Steelers in third, and the Bengals rounding it out in fourth.
I get, of course, Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and the Cincinnati Bengals.
So how do I do mine when 3 are tied?
Who do you pick to win the division?
So the last week of the year, at Baltimore, I'll take the home team. I'll say
Nice.
Baltimore
Okay.
wins, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincy.
So if that's the case, there's a potential all 3 teams make the playoffs.
Yep.
At 11
Which-
wins. Yeah.
Yeah. All 3
Yeah.
teams make the playoffs.
Yep.
Wow.
Interesting. Good.
Mhm.
I like it, Jim. I like it.
Which then means that he does not believe that the Jets, Patriots, and Dolphins or Bills will be, making it. So,
Wait. What? Yeah, true. Very true. That's scary, too.
unfortunately, he's saying that he's
I
saying
don't think
that the Patriots
I don't think the
aren't
Jets
gonna.
and Patriots are.
Well, all the Jets are going to do is win the division. So after that, it's whatever.
Joe, come on. Stop
Get
it.
real. Get real.
I know it's
Building up
been
the
a long week for
anticipation.
you.
Building
Building
up the
up the-
anticipation for
Yeah.
the AFC East. But yeah, so that was good. So obviously we'll be back round out on Monday.
What do we got next?
We've got the NFC South.
NFC
boy.
South North.
So we
next.
get to
That's
we
a
get to visit-
no-brainer right there, baby.
We get to visit Tom Brady. Get to talk about the Saints and what's going on down there. That's a mess with Michael Thomas stuff going on right now as well. So
Yeah, he wants out.
he wants out. He's hurt. I just saw today Kyle Pitts is destroying it in practice down there in Atlanta, just catching everything, insane catches. So, and then obviously my boy Sam Darnold, my ex, which it was a somewhat bitter divorce, but we're starting to work our way through it, starting to rebuild that friendship. But yeah, we'll break down that division, how it's going to shake out. I'm sure you know who's coming out at the top, but the middle I think is going to be a lot tougher. From me starting to look at it today, I was like, this is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Obviously, the top is clear, and then the water gets very, very murky in between. So,
Yep.
but yeah, definitely come back on Monday. We'll be back regular schedule. Hopefully from here on out, work permitting, and we will catch you guys then. So, have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. Try and stay cool if you're enduring any heat. And for John and Jim, I'm Joe, and we will see you guys on the other